and transform. So trust is a very strong word. And do you trust that whatever is happening in this at this time period, in this moment of time, it is beneficial? Not really. Doesn't seem like, because you can see the world economy going down, a lot of wars also happening, and our mind is disturbed all the time. So, on the contrary, in this moment when the mind is disturbed, what do I need most? I need stability. I need peace of mind. And therefore, I need to trust that this, since today's topic is call of time, so I would like to introduce this concept to you. If you all can just raise your hands and let me know how many of you are new to Raj Yoga meditation, because I think many of them are aware of the concepts of Raj Yoga meditation. If you all can just raise your hand, the virtual hand, for those ones who are new, so I can just come to know how many of you are new. And it's okay if you all don't want to as well, that's perfectly fine. Let's move further. So let me introduce this concept of time cycle, which we are taught at Brahma Kumaris. And that is, as I said, the truth, because there are many spiritual principles which we are not aware of. But let me take you to a logical principle. You know, now it's evening. I mean, we say late afternoon, early evening, it's 4:11 p.m. in India. Followed by this, there'll be night. Again, then there'll be morning, so on and so forth. So time moves in a cyclic way, but we don't realize that on a large scale. And we need to know that we are moving towards a dark age where we are already in the dark age. And when we say dark Kali Yuga, it means basically a lot of ignorance around. And what is this ignorance about? Not knowing who am I, not knowing my true nature. So here comes the second T, as I said, knowing the truth and trusting. So trusting in what? That this time is cyclic in nature. That whatever we are going through, lot of upheaval, lot of stress, lot of disturbance, lot of instability, all this will be followed by something which is opposite. So there'll be a lot of stability coming in the coming days, lot of peace, purity, and prosperity. And there will be absolute, in the entire world, there will be a place where everyone will be one. In the sense, when I say one, which means not financially, economically, socially, but one from this aspect. And that is the truth. And that is the one spiritual principle which I was amazed when I started my Raj Yoga meditation journey with Brahma Kumaris in 2009. I just switched on the television. I heard some sister sitting on the sofa, wearing a white dress and sitting on a black sofa. A very good contrast it was. And then when I listened to her, what she said was very amazing. And it was trying to tell us, who am I? So if I ask you, and if you can write in the chat box, let's see what answers come. Who am I? This question, if someone puts to you, what will you write? Please start writing. I'm just waiting for your answers. Who am I? If someone asks you, who are you? What do people normally say? I am. So someone will say their name. Someone will say I'm a doctor. Someone will say their profession, whatever they specialize in. So on and so forth. But that is actually not my true introduction. What is my true introduction? I am an energy. I am a soul. And when I realized that the entire depth of who am I the being, I the soul, and where do I stay? I reside here in the center of the forehead. And I'm not a physical being, I'm a conscient being. I'm a metaphysical energy. When I realized this thing, I said, wow, this is something which I was looking for and I wasn't aware of. And not only just knowing about that I am a soul, but going in the depth of it. And I would also take you into the depth of this today by just telling you three important things about the soul. It's the mind, the intellect, and the personality traits. In Hindi, beautiful three words: man, buddhi, and sanskar. And very basic, but very powerful. The mind is the thinking faculty of the soul. Intellect is the decision making faculty of the soul. And sanskars or personality traits is the action making faculty. So, whatever I think in life, I then decide and then I act on it. So, thinking, decision, and acting, these are three processes which are very closely linked to each other. And this constantly happens inside me. And what is the proof that I am a soul? I mean, being a medico, being a doctor, I can totally relate to this very well. If I give you an example now, Swapna Bhen was introducing about me, so on, etc. Dr. Manoj so and so from somewhere. And right now it's exactly 4:15. If I get a heart attack now here, not a very good thing to happen in the middle of a session. And if I get a heart attack, for example, then I won't be sitting here interacting. I'll be down here. The screen will be blank. You'll just see this red and the light there. And well, that's the disadvantage of Zoom because you can't come and help me anyhow. But someone who is next to me in 3 minutes, if that person is not able to resuscitate, that's the word we say, resuscitation in English, in medicine, that if he's not able to help me come back into the world, I'll be declared dead, right? And then people will say, take the body away. They won't say, take Manoj away or Dr. Manoj away, right? So they'll say, take the body away. So you all tell me now, particularly the ones who are not doctors. Yeah, I could see a few doctors, they have left also, I think. So what is this? Why did I change my vocabulary? Within 3 minutes, what happened? So basically, it is people say in Hindi, Atma ne sharir choda. Or in English, we say the soul left the body. So my next question to you all, entire group who is sitting there, there are quite a few meditators I can see. But for ones who are new to this, who are new to Raj Yoga meditation, ask yourself that I have told you this very horrible story, that do you want to wait till the end of your life to realize that you are a soul? No, it's not so bad of a situation I'm in. I mean, in Hindi we say jab jago tab savera. So the moment I know about my awareness, my true awareness that I am a being, I am a soul, then I should start working on it. So this is the call of the time in one way. Through this talk today, let at least one uh, takeaway message from this talk should be that I have to start working on this concept. Let this just not remain a concept with me that I am a soul. I need to practice this concept, get it into my practical life, and start experiencing this soul consciousness. Because now that I have told you about, I have already told you quite a few things that I am the soul, I am not this body. I am the soul having this body, or rather, I have taken this body for performing some roles and responsibilities in my life. I have some resources in life. These are the three R's and some relationships. So, roles, responsibilities, and relationships. And also, we say resources. These are the four R's in life which we have to go through. But is that only I am here for? My role, my responsibility, my relationship, and my resources? No, my dear friends, life is something much more beyond these four R's as well. And that I will only be able to realize if I really sit down with myself, find out some time for myself, and reflect on that. So, as I was telling, that the first T is the truth, and trying to really trust that in this drama cycle, which I have told you, that life, that time also flows in cycle. So now, if it is a iron age, the age of darkness, soon there is an age coming up where there is age full of light, and light means full of knowledge. And in that beautiful age, what we call as the golden age, which I'm sure many of you are aware of, also called Satyug, all the souls over there are in 100% soul consciousness. And you would be wondering, why am I touching here again and again? That's because the soul, as I said, resides here. So, in the entire day now, forget you all, you don't even know about the soul. But here we have regular meditators, senior meditators, brothers and sisters who I can see their video cameras are on. They can ask themselves that in the entire day, how much time do I practice this soul consciousness? Honestly, not a very lot of time. So it's a very easy concept to understand, but it's a very difficult thing to practice on that. And I really need to give time for that. Because nowadays, when we take a few topics for doctors and tell them that please come and experience this soul consciousness, they like it for a few minutes. But then when we tell them go home and practice, हमारे पास time नहीं है. So I think, who are we fooling? We can't keep doing that because we know time is really short. and time is moving in a fast direction, and we have to find out time because we can't give this excuse. Many people nowadays say the word me time, and when we say me time, what do? They go and sit with their smartphones, open up the smartphones, and they say, wow, nice, I'm scrolling at social media. No, that is not me time. That is, on the contrary, taking you away from your me. Because the soul consciousness can only be practiced when you can sit down with yourself and practice this inner work. And it's very important to do this inner work. And as I was telling you, the third T is transform. What do I need to transform actually? Do you feel there's something wrong in my life going on? Yes, there's a lot wrong going on, maybe externally in my life, but I think we have to work on our internal things. Whatever we see, listen to, smell, so all these sense organs we are constantly using. So, like, I look at something on the social media and then my thoughts start getting triggered, right? And usually the speed of the thoughts is very fast when we are stressed. So something which I hear, something which I listen, something which I see, all these trigger my entire apparatus inside. And inside, I told you, it is the thought, intellect, and sanskars through which my entire machinery works. And the basis of all this is the thought. So I have to transform my thoughts. And I mean, according to the spiritual principles, as you know now, the most important spiritual truth, which I've told you, which is told to us by Supreme Being here at Raj Yoga in Brahma Kumaris, is I am a soul and my connection is with the Supreme Soul. That's very important because somehow we have forgotten that in today's day and age, a very fast age, life has become really so fast. It's because of science and technology. You know, we have a lot of gadgets around, and life has actually become very simple or complicated. What do you feel? I think many people will say complicated. I do agree on that. But I would say life has become very easy because you want to grind chutney or some masala and spices. At the tip of a button, the mixer, the juicer, mixer, grinder will do that for you, right? So it's very easy. You want to go from one place to the other place. You have a flight now. No more you have to go by trains if you can afford flights. That's a different thing. So there are a lot of things available for us now. But amidst all that, we have forgotten one thing, that we have lost the art of speaking to oneself. And that means because, I mean, I don't know about who am I. That's the reason I've forgotten the art of how to interact with myself. And when I say transform, transforming from something negative to positive, which is something very low here. But I would say rather transforming something from a very low level consciousness of the body consciousness where I am in entire day to something which is very elevated, which is the soul conscious and the supreme soul conscious. As you can see in the video picture of me, you can see in the background, you can see a light, and that light is basically a symbol of the supreme soul, the supreme being. And you can see it is portrayed by a point. So, you know, and the scientists would agree, if any scientist here or any students of science, that a point has a lot of energy in it. So, Supreme Soul also is a point of light, but it's not a light which is being seen through this eyes. It is a point which can be experienced, and that's the soul as well. So, I, the soul, also am a point of energy, and same thing, so is the Supreme Soul, who's a point of energy. But what's the difference between both of us? I'm just a soul, and that one is a Supreme Soul. So I come and go in the sense, in my states of mind. I'm sometimes happy, I'm sometimes sad, I'm sometimes stable, unstable. So I keep moving up and down. As I said, the word I'm in flux. Flux means changing. I'm always up and down. Whereas Supreme Being is always in a ever stable state of mind, because God Father, we say in English, Param Pita Paramatma. He is basically the ocean of all the virtues, values, and powers which I'm looking for. Something which I feel I have lost in myself. If I can connect to the being, and I can get that from that being. Like the common complaint, all of us, which is, Oh, I want some peace of mind. So, which means I'm lacking peace, right? And actually, this is a wrong thing to say because the soul, I am actually a peaceful entity. My original true nature is of peace. But having forgotten that, I'm looking for peace in all different places. And then I go for a retreat, I go for a vacation, I go abroad for an outing, and then I'm trying to hunt in different areas peace of mind. But the most important thing to realize is I am peaceful, I've forgotten that. And let me connect to that everlasting source of peace because God is the source. It's the ocean of all the virtues, values, and powers, I said. And peace is a very important power which all of us need to work upon, develop upon. So that's the way that we can transform our whatever mundane uh, sort of simple thinking into a very elevated thinking. And I'm not trying to use this word negative, because many people are relative about negative and positive. What could be negative for me may not be negative for you. Many people say, why are you using the word negative? So let me not use that word. Let me just say, transform your thinking from something very low into something very elevated. So that's the first T. Time is really running fast. Let's move further. So from T now I move to the acronym time, TIME. I move on to I. And I is the process, which I have actually been sitting with you and telling you all the time. I means introversion and introspection. And see, we really need to find out time for that. As I said again and again, that people complain we don't have time. But tell me one more thing. There's another word starting with I. It's a social media app, which all of you have profiles on. Honestly, I don't have it on. Any idea which I am I speaking about? Swapna Bhen is also smiling and Debashri Bhen also is smiling. It's Instagram. I'll give you an example here. Yeah, Manjeet, thank you. Finally, someone is interacting. Thank you, Manjeet, bhai or Bhen. I don't know who it is, but thank you. So, see, uh, I'm just giving you an example, a real life example, and it's good to understand through examples because otherwise, spirituality can sometimes be a little bit very theoretical. So let's take this example and try to go inside introvert and inspect introspection, introversion. I'll try to explain you with this example. So I am very happy going for a birthday party or for a marriage reception, etc. I have worn a new piece of cloth or whatever. I have worn a new suit, a three-piece suit or whatever. I have got it through my own money, say maybe around 10,000 or so. So I have spent money. I am happy. I'm trying to share my happiness with the world. How? Through Instagram. And what do I do on the Instagram? How will I share if you all can start writing in the, you all are not using the chat box at all. It was only this Instagram thing which came in. Well, anyway, so you all post photos on the Instagram, right? And if I ask you, why do you want to post? You'll say, I want to share my happiness with the world. Well, that's very good, fine. But then there are three buttons over there. I think the chat box is open. Yeah, so just feel free to send your answers when I ask you anything. Yeah, so there are those three buttons in that any social media app. So let's take Instagram. I think we have like, share, and comment, and subscribe is there in YouTube and also on Instagram. So the moment you put a post, your photograph, you love the photograph, you're smiling. So suddenly you get a lot of ting 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 tings, which means likes, and this actually means thenga. I mean, I don't know why people are so happy with this. Basically, this is not a good sign in way back 20, 30 years ago, but now people are saying this is a like. So you get around 99 likes on your Instagram profile for the post which you have posted. What happens to your happiness? Check introvert, go inside and introspect yourself. What is happening to your happiness? You feel 99 times more happy. That's what many Gen Zs, many youngsters say. I don't know how many Gen Zs are sitting here, but many of them would say, yes, obviously someone is liking. So my happiness also will go up accordingly. 99 likes, 99 times happiness goes up. Do you feel is that dangerous? Let's explore. What is so dangerous about that? Nothing is dangerous. Someone is liking, and I am also increasing my happiness index accordingly. Suddenly, there's ting ting, one thing which goes like that, and that is one dislike happens. Now, what happens to your state of mind? You're suddenly feeling very nice, elevated. Suddenly, you came down. And as you are just trying to absorb all that within you, you're constantly thinking, who is this person? Who is this person not liking me? Usko kya problem hai mere se? So on and so forth. My entire inner apparatus starts working, right? My thoughts go in a very stressful mode. Initially, I was nice and happy. Now I am not so very happy with someone who has put a dislike. And suddenly there's a comment coming in there immediately. Arey, what happened to your taste? So someone has put a comment, whether it's a public comment or a private comment, I don't know, but that comment has come to me. So I'm in the process of just processing that dislike, and suddenly someone is commenting on my taste, that what has happened. Don't I have a good sense of wearing clothes, etc., etc.? And what happens to a state of mind? From high, I have really gone low. So we need to sit and ask that this social media which we are using, what is it doing with the state of my mind? And I'm not sitting here to preach and teach about the social media users who all of you are, and even I'm using social media. But I just need to say that, can I make myself independent? Another word I stands for independent. Can my state of mind be independent of all these uh, triggers? These, I must say, these are all triggers, because someone is doing a dislike and that's a negative trigger for me. So can I remain independent? And then people start a war of words on the social media. So if someone is saying, what happened to your taste? I will say, you take care about your taste, you don't think about it. And then we start having a war of words, and then this spoils our relationships, right? And then we can't stay away from that social media app. So either use the app and just forget it, don't get triggered by people's, because this is triggering our emotions. Sometimes in future talks, if we meet again, we can cover something on emotional stability and how to deal with emotions. But today, the topic is more of call of time. So, do you feel as time is progressing, the number of social media apps also are increasing, and the amount of time we are spending on them also is increasing? And do you feel our state of mind has become very fragile, very weak, very sensitive? Because whatever comment comes on that, we are not able to handle it. And down goes my state of mind like that. So I just give you an example of Instagram, just to tell you that this introversion and introspection, we need to check on ourselves, that what is it that is making me so sensitive? 20, 30, 40 years ago, when we were young kids, our grandparents and parents used to teach us that, first of all, there was not so much of social media all around. Yeah, I can see all sorts of answers coming in, so I'll take that later. It's sort of distracting me a little bit. I'll close it because otherwise I'll forget what I was speaking. So 30 years ago, there was no social media. Forget social media, there was no smartphone in life. Whereas people now are born with smartphones. In pregnancy, mothers are using smartphones. Children just come out as a neonate, as a newborn baby. You have smartphones all the time. And children are taught to use smartphones right from a day one of life. Why? Because for babies crying, you play a nice ringtone or you play nice music on that and you try to pacify him, which is very dangerous again. So my question to you is, we were taught by our parents that highs and lows in life are a part of life. So don't go so very high when things are very good, and don't go so very low and depressed when things are not good. Because nowadays we see, I mean, as a pediatric specialist, I hear many stories of adolescents committing suicide. There's a real story in the city of Mumbai. A 12th standard girl, 12 plus 5, so around 17 years old. And her mother said that tomorrow onwards it's your exam. So I'm not allowing you to use your smartphone because you have to concentrate on your studies. And this girl got so irritated. She shut the door of her room because the mobile phone was with the mother and the mother wasn't giving it to her. So she really became so irritated and then very depressed. She went inside, shut the door, and after that, rest is story. And then she was not opening the door and so on and so forth. And then the mother was a little bit upset that what has happened. She's not listening to me. After a few hours, then they just banged on the door and no response from inside. They just slammed the door open and they saw that she had committed suicide by tying herself to the fan. So this shows that my state of mind has become so fragile and I've become so dependent on these. So can I become independent rather than becoming dependent? That's a beautiful word. Independence. In means inside. Let my dependence be on inside. And when I say introversion, people use this word in a very a different sense. When I say introversion, it doesn't mean introvert extrovert, because people say extrovert means someone who is flamboyant, who is really up and about, who is really interact with people a lot. Whereas introvert is a person who is just to himself. He doesn't want to interact with others. No, I'm not saying it that way. I'm saying introversion means go inside. And when you go inside, which means try to practice some self reflection, me time for the self. Go inside and ask yourself, maybe every 1 hour or every 3, 4 hours, see what is the state of mind last 4 hours. What has happened? Why is my state of mind going up and down like that? Now I'm feeling happy. Looking at someone's comment on WhatsApp or on Instagram, someone's dislike or like, etc., I become up and down. So why? Why am I being so fragile? And the more and more I start practicing this soul consciousness, the concept which I've introduced you, and I connect to the Supreme Being, I start seeing that my state of mind becomes more and more stable. And that's what is needed, because we started with this critical times which we are going through. What is needed in all these critical times? A mind which is stable. And to develop that stability, I need to work on myself and I need to situate myself in this soul conscious. So it's around 4:37. We'll be practicing this soon in the last 5 minutes of the talk, or other 10 minutes. I'll take you in this experience, because whatever I'm discussing, you can find out online. There are many people who give many talks on this topic. But I want today from this talk, all of you, to take away an experience. And that experience will only be in the form of what we do at the end. And that is the third alphabet in the word time. So we started with T, I, next is M. What is M? All of you can type it down. That's what I was coming to. We'll do at the end: meditation and mindfulness. So we need to really find out time for this. And let me introduce what is meditation. Because many people speak many things about meditation, which is good enough. The word meditation, it comes from the word medicine. And medicine itself, it comes from the word mediri. Mediri means to heal oneself. So I give you an example of the Instagram. I posted, people disliked. What happened to my state of mind? I went low. And what happened? In one way, I created a subtle wound inside. Wound, you understand? Zakham. There was a wound inside my mind. Oh, this person didn't like me, right? Yeah, someone is saying some other words, but I would request the BK brothers and sisters to please use words which are understood by people. Because someone has written Murli, which is a good word, but Murli, you should try to specify. It is the spiritual teachings which we have in Brahma Kumaris, the early morning meditation class, which we have at the centers, where we really elevate our consciousness by listening to the divine versions of the Supreme Being and elevate our thought process, so that all these things then become very, very mundane. All these other things which normally affect us like that, once you start meditating and listening to some spiritual knowledge, you elevate your state of mind. So meditation is, as I said, mediri, which means to heal oneself. And how can I heal oneself? Now, there is a wound inside me. That wound was created by someone's dislike. So, can I go and tell the person, no, no, please like me, please don't dislike me? No, I can't go and tell the entire world what to do. They will behave the way they want to. But what I can do for myself, I can heal myself. And that's the call of the time, because We have many wounds inside. We don't know how many wounds we are carrying. And not only a day old wound or a 1 week old wound, we have been carrying it for so many years. We meet someone today, for example, Sister Om Debashri. I have seen her now. And we had some interaction, say 15 years ago. It was not a good interaction, maybe. And then the moment I see her today, immediately my file inside the brain file will open. Oh, and I'll say, Om Debashri, aa gayi. She's like that one. So what did I do? I'm just opening files inside, and all these wounds inside are there. So how do I heal these wounds? I can't change Debashri, but I can change my thought process towards her. So, same thing, I have had many interactions with many people in my life. Through many interactions, it could be my colleagues at work, it could be at my school, it could be with teachers at school or at college, etc. It could be with strangers. I'm traveling by flights or trains or buses. It could be with people around. So, somewhere or the other, I pick up things, we pick up conversations, and then we end up with not being good friends, and we carry, oh, he's like that, she's like that. So these all wounds inside I have to heal sometime or the other, and the call of time is to heal these wounds asap, as soon as possible, because unless and until I heal these wounds, I can't fly. And fly literally doesn't mean I get up and have wings and I fly. Fly is a state of mind which is very light, which is very stable, which is very peaceful. And that can only happen when I connect myself to the source of flying, that is to the Supreme Being. Because the Supreme Being is ever light, ever stable. As I said, it's the ocean of peace, ocean of purity, ocean of happiness. It's the source of all the things that I need. And once I realize that I need to connect to that source, and the way to connect is by doing Raj Yoga meditation, which I'll do shortly in the next 15 minutes or so. It is to situate in the consciousness of being the soul, and then basically raising your awareness, creating a thought about self as a soul, situating in that nature of being a peaceful soul, and then connecting to the ocean of peace. A very simple thing, what we say in Raj Yoga, going inside or going inwards, connecting upwards to the source, and then coming outwards with that beautiful energy which I receive from the Supreme Being. So, meditation and mindfulness. The other day, I was doing a session with, again, some youngsters, 25, 30-year-old young adults. And I asked them, what is mindfulness? So, someone said, fullness, fullness. So, I said, okay, are you trying to tell me or you're asking me or what? I didn't understand. He said, fullness means a mind which is full of thoughts. I said, no, it's not like that. That's not mindfulness. Because when you say fullness, many people feel fullness means a feeling of fullness, a feeling of heaviness. No, on the contrary, mindfulness is that ness stands for awareness. So I told him mindfulness is when your mind is fully in the awareness of being a soul, being a light. And the moment you start doing that, you start feeling lightness. And that's ness. So lightness and awareness go together, and you're being fully in that ness thing, and that's called mindfulness. So you feel light. He said, oh, I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. I said, no worries. You have to experience that, because too much of theory doesn't work. So now also I have been almost speaking to you since 43 minutes, and you have been patiently listening to me. Thank you for that. But I think now we need to go in the meditative mode. We'll spend, I think, more 5-10 minutes, and then in the meditation quickly after that. So let's revise for people who have joined late. So we have spoken about time as an acronym because it's the call of the time. That's the topic. So we started with T. What is T? Trust in the truth and transform. We covered that in detail. Next, I, as I said, I stands for introspection. And before you do your introspection, you go inside, introversion. And that introversion is very important because it will help me to Instagram. I remember reminding myself of that I Instagram, because it will help me. Someone is writing about posts that I also dislike posts, so I just ignore. Another I, can we do ignorance? There's a proverb in English called ignorance is bliss, right? That's the ignorance. Yeah. Ignorance is bliss doesn't mean that I ignore people around and I'm happy. Yes, they quite ignored him. No, no, no. Ignorance is bliss is I ignore whatever around. People are commenting, people are liking, disliking. Either ways, a good like and a bad dislike. Either ways, I can ignore that and I just be in my own masti. In Hindi, we say, "Aag lage basti mein, hum apni masti mein." So, "aag lage basti mein" means there's no real physical fire, but it's a fire inside. And this fire is of criticism, of jealousy, of uh, unhappiness, instability. Someone said something and I fluctuate. I go in a mode of flux. So, all these things, despite having all those things, or despite being in all that, can I maintain my inner stability and decorum? So, that was the I: introversion, inspection, and even, as I said, introspection. And M was, we said, meditation and mindfulness. And we quickly move on to E. What would be E? Empowerment. And as I said, empowerment happens through education. So let me also at this point of time introduce to you concepts about 8 powers which we have in Raj Yoga. Because the moment I create this beautiful thought that I am a peaceful being, you see, you really feel very empowered. You feel that you're cut off from the entire world. All those stressful, damaging, negative thoughts just disappear and you remain in this elevated thought. And this is just you have created, I am a peaceful being, just one thought. The next thought is, I am a child of the Supreme, who is the ocean of peace, the source of peace. The moment you connect to that through your thoughts and intellect, you see your experience of peacefulness will really start expanding and you will feel more and more and more light. So this is the way to empowerment, as I said, through education. So now let me just give you a few powers. I'll see how much I can cover. So most importantly, in today's day and age, the tough times we are going through, we need 2 powers, very important. The first important power is the power to discern, and second is the power to judge or power to decide. I'll give you an example. Someone is telling me do this. Someone is saying don't do this, don't do this. So I'm in 2 minds. That's the proverb we say. So I don't know whether this one is right for me or that one is right for me. So I have to take a decision. So I have to first judge or discern, and then I have to decide. So these are the 2 powers which, as we do more and more meditation, our catching power improves, our touching power improves. These are 2 other powers which I won't explain a lot, but I start catching the signals from the divine. I start catching the touchings from the divine, from the supreme being, and then you'll see that life becomes very easy. What you were thinking for many days, or you're not able to decide, in a flash of a second, you can decide. And that can only happen if your mind is stable. And as I'm saying again and again, it's only a stable mind who can take good decisions. So the power to decide, the power to judge. If you take a fulcrum and if you take a scale, uh, something which is up and down the balance. So to make that stable, you need to have the fulcrum in the center and it needs to be stable. So same thing, if I want to have a decision, my mind needs to be stable. So these are the 2 powers which we gain when we start Raj Yoga. 2 other powers which we have to have in interactions with people is the power to tolerate and the power to absorb someone's weaknesses. In Hindi, we call it Sahan Karna and Samana. Beautiful 2 powers. Like if I'm interacting, like say Pita Basa Bhai, who's sitting in front of you taking some notes, he said something to me in the past, and I didn't like that. But he's a senior brother, he's an experienced person. So can I tolerate whatever he said to me, which I didn't like, but can I tolerate? Yes, I can. And tolerance is a power, my dear friends. It's not a weakness because people feel, oh, I have to tolerate. No, tolerance is a beautiful virtue and a value. And the power to tolerate is a power attached to that tolerance. So if I can tolerate people in their interactions, whatever they say, fine, no problem. I'm not getting affected by what they say. So power to tolerate and power to absorb, samane ki shakti, which means whatever weaknesses people show up, and I can see that this person is not able to do something which I'm asking him to do. So can I just absorb whatever he's not able to do, not try to pour around his weakness to 10 other people and say, oh, see, he's like that. So if I can just tolerate him also and absorb whatever he's saying, his weaknesses, and make sure I empower him by not revealing his weaknesses to others. What happens in nowadays call of time, people in this day and age, what do? They are just sitting here to criticize other people and also to just openly say their weaknesses to others, which is not a good thing to do. So once I start practicing Raj Yoga, I start realizing my inner potential, that who am I, and connect to the Supreme Being. These two powers also increase. The other two powers are, we say, Sametne ki Shakti. So moving, we can do a big talk on that if sometime in future. Moving from expanse to essence. The world has become very expansive, right? People say, I know this, one of our president of, not India, president of medical wing, Dr. Ashok Mehta. So when I used to tell him something about Vihasa projects or something, so he used to tell me, Manoj, tell me in bullet points. You know what I'm saying? Bullet points means summarize your thing. Don't be expansive. So nowadays people have become so expansive. So we tell them, हमारे पास time नहीं है. Short में बोलो. बोलते हो ना ऐसे अपने friends को. So same thing. So this is not about speaking. This is about my inner thought process. Can I move from this world of expanse, world of Instagram, WhatsApp, etc., etc., all that into my inner world? Can I move from expanse to essence? And this is from Vistar se Sar mein aana, that is to call Sametne ki Shakti. And also here, power to withdraw and detach comes very important, because when we say these two powers about detachment and withdrawing, many people mistake us at Brahma Kumaris. They say Brahma Kumaris, the moment you go there, you start becoming detached. And be practicing detachment is a good thing. Now remember, detachment is not getting detached from people. No, detachment is getting detached from their sanskars, from their habits. So whatever they are doing, like I gave you the Instagram example, someone has sent a comment to me and I'm not liking it. So can I detach myself from that habit of that person? Of course, yes, I can. It's just I have to develop that habit. So detaching myself from people's comments, from people's habits, from people's weaknesses, from people's sanskars. That is true detachment. And once I can detach myself from this, you see, my state of mind will be always in a elevated flying mode. So that is practicing power of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean being insensitive. No, not at all. I am there for you, but I'm not getting affected by your state of mind, because I am empowered myself by connecting to the Supreme. And on the contrary, I am so empowered, my vibrations are empowering you. So, can I be that source as a source of empowerment for someone else? Of course, I can. So, that's empowerment through education. But for that, I need to first work on myself. And there are last two powers which I would like to end with. I'm aware of the time, don't worry. So, power to face and power to cooperate, because the call of time, the time which we are going through, the tough time, we need a power to face that. Because if I'm in Hindi, we say सामना करने की शक्ति. कुछ सामने आया and मुझे सामना करना है. Beautiful Hindi words. Hindi is a beautiful language. We should have it in Hindi rather than in English, but it's okay. We respect every language. So सामने परिस्थिति आई, मुझे उसका सामना करना है. And beautiful another word, परिस्थिति. When we say परिस्थिति in Hindi, par means something not mine, outside. So paristhiti is something coming from outside. And can paristhiti outside affect my sthiti? Yes, it affects. It should be opposite. My state of mind should affect the thing outside. But nowadays, my power to face has become so low that whatever is coming from outside, again, Instagram example, I'm not able to face that comment. I have gone very low. I'm not able to detach. I'm not able to go in essence. I'm not able to practice the power to face. Can I face that? I have to face that. And this comment is just nothing. In life, be prepared. There are so many things we have to face in life. Untimely death of a person in the family, illness, some big illness coming, accident happening, financial loss, so on and so forth. So there are so many things in life which we need to face. So Raja Yoga helps us to develop the power to face. And last important but not the least is the power to cooperate. That, okay, I detach myself, I face, I tolerate, but at the same time, let me be in the gathering. Let me be in my friends circle, in my family, in my relationship, wherever I am, and try to cooperate with everyone. Because that's what in Hindi we say. At Brahma Kumaris, I've learned this Snehi Bhava, Sahyogi Bhava, which means the person whom you love, you'll always cooperate with that person. Because it's a beautiful virtue, cooperate. And only a person who, it's a power in one way, it's a value, no doubt, but also it's a power. Because the people whom I don't like, I usually don't cooperate, right? But let me shift my consciousness, transform the T I told you. Let me transform my consciousness that, fine, this person is so and so XYZ, he's not dash 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 with me, I don't like him, etc. But let me uh, give my hand or finger of cooperation. In Hindi, we say "Sahyog ki ungli dena," and you know that everyone who gives the finger of cooperation, then the big mountain of what is that mountain called? You all can write down. Govardhan Parvat. Govardhan Parvat, Krishna and all the other gopis and gopis of all the friend circle, they were able to lift that big heavy mountain with their finger. Now you can imagine how can a finger really elevate the mountain. So it's basically a symbolic thing that each and everyone's little act of cooperation will help us to achieve any big task. So the call of the time is that as we are progressing towards these tough times which are coming in the future, our little act of cooperation will help each one of us to uplift and empower and come out of this beautifully. So that is the empowerment through education, and we discussed about the eight powers very briefly. But I think if you all are interested in going into the depth of each power, please contact your nearest Raja Yoga meditation center. So I think with this, I'd like to stop the theoretical aspect, and now let's try to summarize everything, not the talk, but let's try to summarize all our thoughts back to the one point that I am. I'll play some soft music in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. Let us just empower ourselves. Whatever we have heard so far, almost an hour now, let's try to put that into practice. Okay, so I'll just play some soft music. I'll see whether I'm cutting off or not. Please let me know. I'll share the music here. I'll do that myself. No worries. And so if you'll want to open your video, it will be fine now. So sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay now. Yeah. So just as I am a peaceful being, let me now connect to another supreme being who is the ocean of peace, the source of peace, and visualize that as a point of light on the top of your head. And visualize rays of peace emerging from that supreme being and entering your system. And these rays of peace are making you feel more and more light and stable. And the sense of you're feeling peaceful now is much more deeper than before. You're enjoying this connection with the ocean of peace. So let's revise what we did. I am a peaceful being. I am connected to the ocean of peace. Spend a few moments in this divine connection and empower yourself. Now let's move on to the last step in meditation. Ask yourself, can I be a peace messenger for someone? The answer is, of course, yes. So look at your day, maybe tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday, coming in interaction with people around. Let me pass on this beautiful feeling and experience of peacefulness to each and everyone whom I come in touch with, whom I interact with. And visualize that I am an instrument of peace. I am not the source, but I'm connected to the source. And I'm spreading. I'm just the mediator. I'm spreading this rays of peace from the ocean, the source, to each and everyone whom I interact with. And lastly, also visualize that in the world around at this point of time, the souls in the world are undergoing a lot of challenges, a lot of pain and suffering in the world. Whatever the reason, war, famine, hurricanes, etc., etc., souls are experiencing grief and sorrow. And let me pass on this beautiful energy of peace from the Supreme Being, coming from the Supreme Being to all of them around. And those in distress and grief and sorrow are also experiencing now a lot of peace and stability from the rays of the Supreme Being, the peaceful rays of Supreme Being. And finally, as each one of us has become so silent and peaceful on the Zoom session, each one of us is responsible for creating peace in the world because we are all instruments of peace, of the Supreme Being. So let's quickly revise. I am a peaceful being connected to the ocean of peace and radiating peace all around in my interactions. And as you come back, as you open your eyes, as you look around, let this inner sense of peacefulness prevail. Maybe for the next hour or so, try to use this peacefulness in your day to day activities. And again, after a few hours, when you feel depleted, connect to the source and empower, re energize yourself. Thank you so much for your patient listening and understanding. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Thank you, brother, for this powerful session. It's very much insightful. and thanks for your valuable time. We look forward for future session as well. So now we'll go towards our Q&A session, and I would like to invite Sister Om Devashri to continue with the Q&A session. Thank you.
Yeah, Om Shanti. Thank you so much, brother. So I'll request everyone to be little interactive. You can raise your hand to ask question, or you can type your question over chat. Uh, Consider this one is a very safe environment. No one will think, no one will judge. So better you ask your questions and take benefit out of it. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, yes, you are.
This is
So looks like everyone's doubt is already very clear and don't have any questions till now. We'll give 1 or 2 minutes till. Day to day life, any challenges you guys are facing, you can ask.
Manjeet has raised the hand. You can go ahead, Manjeet.
Hello, Om Shanti. Uh, I have a question uh, it is regarding change. So, means since uh, childhood, we have some sanskars, okay, and and nature also, right? So, with it is said that whatever nature or sanskar you get, they are developed at the childhood, that cannot be changed. So my question is I have also experienced it, like that nature can't be changed. I'm unable to change that my nature. Change in the sense means adapting to new changes or cope up with that.
Right. So I understood your question, a beautiful question. And your question itself, you have given the answer as well. So we are born with certain set of sanskars, that is the sanskars we say from childhood. We acquire them through school, through our environment, from parenting. Those are one sets of sanskars. There are many different types of sanskars. The most important sanskars, what we call of the soul, are the original sanskars. And if you want to hear this or learn in detail, I would recommend you to do the 7-day Raj Yoga meditation course. The first original sanskars of the soul are those seven basic virtues which the soul has. That is peace, purity, knowledge, happiness, power, so on and so forth. And those are the original sanskars, the eternal sanskars of the soul. And with over a period of time, there are layers on the soul. So those original sanskars, because of the other layers which I've acquired, these childhood sanskars also are acquired from childhood. So if I can just remove all those layers, I can really go within and I can change them. Third is the sanskars coming from you can say my company, the company I keep, and therefore in Hindi it is said "Jaisa sang vaisa rang." So if I have a very bad friend circle, bad in the sense I'm not trying to mean anyone, but if it's a sanskar of, I mean, my friend circle is sort of having a very negative sanskars, I get colored by that company. So therefore it's important to check what company I'm keeping. And one set of sanskars, we call it sanskars through our willpower. So all of us have that willpower that we can change. And basically, as I said, we don't have to change anything. We just have to go. All these layers which are there on the soul have to be cleared. And all these layers, once they are cleared, once you go within, like now, whatever meditation which we did was just a 10-minute activity. What we were trying to do consciously was we were trying to go inside. We just took one value, that was peace. We went inside, we felt that we connected to the Supreme Being, and we felt very nice for maybe 10 minutes. And this can remain for us maybe for the next 1 or 2 hours or so. So I need to consciously keep doing this practice again and again of going within and trying to touch my eternal sanskars, the original. We say original is Adi and Anadi is the eternal. So original and eternal sanskars need to be tapped on. And once I start doing that,
Hmm.
right? So I hope that answers your question. I'll take one more question. Is that okay? I'll take Debashri Bhen directly. Abhinav Bhai.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, correct. Like we meet many people outside every day, so their thoughts are different. How can we?
I'll just read. So, how spiritual thoughts inculcate in daily life? Because not everyone we meet is in the same thought process. Exactly. As you are rightly saying, my thoughts are different from someone else's thought. I really can't go and change the world. I only have to change myself. And if I start working on myself, if I empower myself through Raj Yoga so much, then you see people will start liking your company. And they will, on the contrary, as get attracted to you. As you know how on a sugary stuff ants come, so they will say, I like your company. And you ask them, why do you like my company? There's something, because my aura has become so positive, and I am not judgmental now, I am not critical now, I am not jealous now, so I'm very pure, very peaceful in my thought process inside. And that's what my aura is. My aura is very pure and peaceful now, and that's what attracts people. So on the contrary, I should not be influenced by other people, but I should be influencing them through my internal empowerment, which I have had through meditation, and make sure that they start liking my company on the contrary. But again, having said that, we are not doing meditation to attract people to ourselves. Please remember, we are not doing that for them. We are doing it for ourselves. Because I feel very good, I feel light, my state of mind has improved, my way of living has improved, I'm feeling much more better than before. So people start feeling that in my company as well. Okay, so we can't change other people. Right. Okay. So Abhinav has accepted that very beautifully very soon. Thank you, Abhinav Bhai. Okay. S- So I think speech is silver, silence is golden. Okay, there's one more.
But there is one more. Yeah.
The Behan is saying, what advice will you give when we are in a conflict with our colleagues? Wow. What will we do in that situation? Interesting. We are not sitting here to give you any advice, my dear friends. It's your life journey, because we don't know what is your thought process inside and what is their thought process. So we can only suggest a few tips and tricks. So when you have a conflict, see, there is one thing called difference of opinion. Your opinion is different, my opinion is different. So till that level, it's fine, whereby I do respect that person's opinion, right? Because all of us are so different. But when there's a conflict now which has happened, now when you say the word conflict, every word has an energy. So what energy is that word conflict giving you? It's giving you a very disturbed, I won't use the word negative, it's giving you a disturbed state of mind. And when your state of mind is disturbed, might as well, I'll say, just stop doing anything, just go and sit down. Again, TIME. Start with that introspection, truth about. I so told you all those 4 words in the acronym. Sit down with yourself, ask yourself, why am I disturbed? Because his opinion is different, mine is different. That will always be different. So let me just sit on that, work out myself, de-stress myself, let my unstable mind stabilize first, and then I can go and have a conversation with that person. And then that person will say, oh yes, yesterday we had a conflict, but today we'll come down to a consensus. So move on from conflicts to consensus, come down to some commonality, work out with it's just your colleague, it's not your enemy, right? And don't make your colleagues your enemies. Well, enemy is a very strong word. We should have enmity with no one actually in life. So it's just your colleague. So just sit around, sit with him or her, try to understand his or her perspective, come out with some resolution, come out with some consensus. But that will only happen when your state of mind is stable. And one more thing which our dear Dadi Prakashmani, I would like to give you this example because we have really a lot of seniors in our organization to learn from. So we had a very previous administrative head called Dari Prakashmani. She was serving as the administrative head from 69 onwards to 2007. And she was the spiritual head and she was the head of our organization. But one of the press reporter, the news reporter told her, Dadi, you are the head of the institution. Don't you feel stressed because you have to handle so many people? She said, oh no, never, because I don't create this thought. What thought? That I am the head of the institution. And she said हिंदी में, अगर मैंने अपने को हेड समझा तो मुझे हेडेक हो जाएगा, right? And second thing which she also reminded us that time is she used to say, because she used to be there in our meetings where people come and meet each other and they have their own opinions. So never in our meetings at the Brahma Kumari's headquarters there's conflict, because she told us harmony. Harmony is an English word. It's an English word. It's a virtue. In Hindi we call samarasta. But she used to say, Dadi Prakashmani, har man lo, which means if someone is saying which you are not liking, it's okay. Do what he or she says. And this way, then you will not have a grudge against that person. Okay, accept what he or she is saying and change your energy, because everything is about energy. Rather than what we are speaking, the more important is the thought energy which we are conveying to each other. So if I can work on my thoughts are very pure, peaceful, and in harmony with others, then even if my advice and opinion is different from theirs, they won't feel bad. And then we can come to a, as I said, conclusion,
Conclusion.
analysis. Okay, right. Okay, Manjeet Bhai is just, but will not that be surrender to other person and hit our ego? Yes, there you are. So ego kahan se aa gaya? That's what we are discussing here. We didn't cover ego at all, but ego is the consciousness of I being right all the time. No, we know there's a thin line between ego and self-esteem. What is the thin line? That ego means ego says, I am right always, always. Whereas self-esteem says, I am right. Even that person is right from their perspective. So the very fact that I am not able to come out with a resolution, conflict resolution, or with some consensus is because I am being egoistic. It's not about surrendering. On the contrary, we should surrender our ego at these times, and then only we can patch up and come to a commonality. So it's not about being surrender, it's about surrendering our ego. It's about getting rid of the ego. And all of us know ego spoils relationships. We know that very well. Whereas self esteem, self respect for each other builds relationships. Right? We can take on ego sometime in detail. I've given you a lot of topics for future. Sometime we'll discuss that as well. Let's see when.
Any more questions, guys? I think no more questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sister Om Devashri, for coordinating this Q&A session. And thank you, Brother Manoj, for answering all the query. Now we are approaching towards the to end this session. So before that, I would like to